Hello everybody, my name is Dominic and I am a narcissistic abuse survivor. I call myself a survivor because like you, if you are viewing this video, you probably have dealt with a narcissist, and to be a survivor is basically just to still be breathing and still have most of your mental faculties about you. I wanted to make this video to document my journey to finding myself after narcissistic abuse. A lot of times victims end up losing themselves and they don't really know who they are. The discard was in mid-July and it is now New Year's Eve. So I wanted to document a full year from New Year's Eve to New Year's Eve, giving you a glimpse into my recovery so maybe you can learn from my experience and maybe I can learn from your comments. I want to give you a little bit of background about my particular situation. Some of it may sound very familiar because it seems like these individuals end up following a specific pattern. So, my specific situation was that I was in an on-again, off-again relationship with a narcissist for 6 years before getting married. I didn't really know about narcissism prior to that, had really no knowledge. Simply got into a relationship that moved very fast in the beginning, and I ended up having to be almost like a white knight saving her. She stated that she had a crazy ex-boyfriend. A month or a month and a half, I think, after we met, suddenly she was getting kicked out of her apartment, so she moved in with me. So I ended up, paying my bills and her bills. And then one day she just up and left. And little did I know until I was able to actually look through her phone at a slightly later date, that throughout our relationship, before we were married, she was grooming multiple other sources of supply. Was even saying that she wasn't involved with anyone. I read a bunch of text messages that stated that. Needless to say, I was confused, but I was crushed as well. So we ended up not talking to one another for about a year and a half. Within that time, she tried to hoover me. Hoovering means she tries to suck you back into the dialogue, to the conversation, to the craziness. To tell you the truth, I ended up getting sucked in a little bit at first, and then I would distance myself, and then, oh boy, did I get hoovered in. I ended up marrying her. Yes, we ended up getting back together after she broke it off with her primary source of supply, or so I thought, and then she moved back on with me. So, we got married, and the love bombing stage lasted, I'd say, a few weeks, and then it went straight to devaluation once she knew that she had her hooks into me, so to speak. She turned very cold and she went back to her old ways. I was sleeping in the basement. I was walking on eggshells all of the time for the next year and a half. Once I cut off the supply because of multiple just crazy things that she did, she ended up leaving and filing for divorce. So it did devastate me when she left, but I really didn't have any control over that. I had given all that I could give, and to tell you the truth, I was hating myself. I was hating the person that I was turning into. Throughout this video series, I'll expand on the relationship history if I get enough comments wanting me to, so that way you will know where I'm coming from, or I can make something a little bit more clear. That's fine. But right now in this first video, what I want to talk about is I want to talk about kind of you as the survivor, what to expect after the discard or even the final discard. I don't really know about using the term final discard because as of yet, I really truly do not believe that they will ever go away. They'll go away for now, but then they'll come back. It seems to be that way, at least for me. So what happened to me shortly after the discard or at the onset of the discard? Well, you can expect, like I did, either weight loss or weight gain. I lost 40 pounds since July, and it's now New Year's Eve. So I also developed an eating disorder, which helped with that weight loss after she left. I felt, for some reason, very shameful eating. I now see it was a form of self-punishment because I thought that I did something wrong that warranted her leaving. Now, some people might want to do the exact opposite and overeat to gain weight out of depression. I've had several friends that have done that. If you suffer from not being able to handle eating like I did, it wasn't that I didn't have an appetite. It was simply that for some reason I could not swallow food. It would make me nauseous. I could not get it down to my stomach. Therefore, I recommend protein shakes. Protein shakes probably saved my life. Now, you can't live off of them, but they'll at least give you some nutrients and get you used to ingesting something again. Little by little, weaning you back to solid food. Really, really did help me. Next, PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. Yes, you will very likely end up having to deal with PTSD. I got PTSD from this relationship. I have reoccurring nightmares, horrible, vivid nightmares, although they're starting to lessen. My internal dialogue was really running wild in the first few weeks, actually first couple of months. It seemed like I could not shut up that voice in my head, and it led to a lot of stress because it was almost like me fighting against me. And then, of course, you have the feelings of worthlessness, of ugly. I felt so unattractive that nobody wanted me because she had left me in the state. And I felt very hopeless. Part of the hopeless was that, she had basically told me that there's no hope in us saving our marriage. It wasn't that I was hopeless in life. I have a pretty decently successful career. I'm also a grad student, so I have some definite pluses going on for me in other areas of my life. Just my personal life or my married life ended up falling apart, and I ended up feeling pretty hopeless because of it. I felt that I was hopeless and worthless. I also got agoraphobia as well, and I still suffer from it now. I'm afraid of going outside other than to go to work or to take care of my elderly mother's home currently, and pets that are luckily just down the road that I can walk to while she's in the hospital. I never really suffered from agoraphobia before. I was always a pretty, I won't say a real outdoorsy type of person, but kind of. I liked being outdoors and doing things. Now, I find that I have isolated myself inside. Unfortunately, it is what it is. It's winter time right now, so that's not too bad, but I'm trying to work through it so that once nice weather comes, I can start to enjoy nature and the outdoors again. So, working off of that whole hopelessness and worthlessness, I developed this just having no self-esteem or having no self-worth at all. I feel as if I had failed in my marriage and that I could do nothing right. Like I said before, I isolate myself so that I can't be taken advantage of. And from what I've read and heard, this is very common. And it's actually not a bad thing. It becomes a bad thing when you start isolating yourself for a long time. And I think that I am getting to that point to where I need to stop isolating myself because it's been about 5 months now. Also, I have found that I have cut out 99% of my friends that I had when we were together or I was married. Technically, I'm not divorced yet. I am separated. I am waiting for the paperwork. She filed on October 30th. My lawyer's responding, and now we're playing that game. But anyhow, 99% of my friends that I had when we were together, I got rid of because I now realize that they were toxic. They were taking advantage of me, and I simply didn't feel like being taken advantage of anymore because usually when you go through this, you start having trust issues and you're not sure who you can trust, and you also become hypersensitive, thinking, oh, they might have narcissistic tendencies, or they might, and I just don't want to deal with any of that. So, with that being said, let me get into the what I did in the first 5 months to try to get better. Am I healed all the way? No, far from it. Am I a lot better than what I was at day one? You betcha. So the first thing that I did, and that you're probably doing, is educating yourself. So if you're watching this video, it's probably because you jumped on YouTube or Google or somewhere else, and you Googled either the traits that your spouse has to find out about narcissism, or you already knew about narcissism and you're using videos like I do to help with the healing. So at first I thought mine was bipolar. When I first started, I was reading in some forums and was thinking, well, it kind of fits sort of a few of the things, but I really didn't fit them all. Once I started learning about narcissism, oh wow. They say that it's supposed to be like 5 out of 10 or 5 out of 7 or something like that of these symptoms in order to be kind of categorized as one. Let me tell you, she has all 10 of them. Wow. But through tons of reading, I read, because I work in higher education, I read a lot of academic research articles, and of course read blogs and watched YouTube videos. I stumbled across narcissistic personality disorder, and other people's stories mirrored mine. I mean, really, it felt like there was a fly on the wall with a little video camera that was recording what was going on in my relationship and in my life. So that's probably the first thing that you will do, is start to educate yourself, because you want to know why. You're not going to get the answers from them. You're not going to get the closure from them. So you have to develop your own closure. And my closure was through education. Next, exercise. I started to exercise from my home. I have a small home gym. Once again, like I said, I have agoraphobia right now. I don't like going out. I don't really like hanging out and being around other people. But being able to work out with my home gym helped me to burn off some of the nervous energy and anxiety that I had, and gave me, good feelings from tiring out my body and getting those endorphins and serotonin and everything that, all these chemicals that end up giving you this euphoric state after you work out and get the pump, and that's why a lot of people kind of become addicted to it, because it feels good. Am I addicted to it? No. But do I enjoy exercising, especially when I'm anxious? You betcha. I recommend dragging yourself out of bed, and if you don't want to go out to a gym because maybe you'll see your narcissist there, or you'll see other people and you can't be around them, just do stuff at home. Go for a walk if you can. If you have a treadmill, even just doing calisthenics, sit-ups, push-ups, leg raises, anything like that will really help. Next, therapy. So I went into therapy, yes. I tried to get my soon-to-be ex-wife and myself into therapy, and now, from seeing what I know now, they say, a lot of the professionals say that probably not a good idea, because it really doesn't help a narcissist. However, I went alone. I went solo. The narcissist ended up saying that she is going to therapy as well. I find that hard to believe, but I wish that she does. So I went to therapy. However, I did not interview my therapist as I should have. I found out through sessions that she was not very well versed in NPD, but she was at least somebody to talk to, and my insurance paid for everything but like a $15 or $12 copay or something like that. So it really wasn't that bad of a deal. I have since stopped going because I felt that after about 3 months it kind of ran its course. And I started to do some self-therapy, I suppose, by educating myself further, watching videos. But one thing that the therapist did help me to do is to understand that there were some issues in my childhood, maybe with my parents, my siblings, maybe some trauma that had happened to me when I was young that may have played, maybe not may have, probably did play a part in attracting someone like this and being used as a doormat, basically. I'm slowly, since then, trying to set up boundaries and identify my problems, my shortcomings, and heal from them, work past them. So, another big thing that I did to help me was I stopped drinking alcohol. I've always enjoyed drinking socially, even sometimes to an excess. But as the abuse progressed, I was finding myself trying to numb all of this shitstorm that was going on with alcohol. I was drinking at least an 18-pack a day of beer every day after work in the last year of our marriage while I was exiled down in the basement. It was basically come home from work, drink my beer in the basement, fall asleep in a chair, wake up in the morning, shower, get ready, and go to work, rinse and repeat. I was doing this just to try to keep sane. However, what I was doing is I was developing or nurturing an alcohol addiction, which is no good. I decided finally, when she had left and I was discarded, that I was going to face this problem with a clean and sober mind. Because I had a relationship about 20 years ago that had ended pretty badly. And I was pretty emotionally distraught, and I climbed inside the bottom of a bottle, and I stayed there for almost a decade. And I promised myself I was not going to do that again, and so I didn't. So like I said, I came to it with a clear and sober mind. I think that it's helped me immensely, and it's helped me not only to get my mind straight, but to prevent me from doing like drunk dialing or drunk texting or anything like that. No, I like to keep everything in the perspective, and I think that you should try to keep things into perspective as well. So I still haven't touched any alcohol, and it's been 5 months. That's not to say that I will never drink again. It's New Year's Eve. Will I have something to drink, a glass of wine or something? Perhaps. Will I try to drink my problems away? No, absolutely not. So, next thing that I did is, I'll just call it spiritualism. I kind of got more in tune with whether it be a higher power or my inner self. I'm not really exactly sure how to explain it. I did start going to church soon after the discard. I was never a very religious person. I mean, I was baptized Catholic. I tried going to church a few times throughout my adult life. Never really gelled with me. But I considered myself a spiritual type of person. But I tell you what, I forced myself to get outside for a little bit on Sundays and go to a church to try to get in touch with my inner self and try to get some answers or some clarity or some peace. Whether it was God or not, I think I think that each individual should find that center, that focus. And for some, it is God. And for others, it's just meditation, or it's getting in tune with their inner self. So church did seem to help balance me and take the edge off in the early stages of the discard, because I didn't feel so alone. After the discard, you're usually isolated away because the narcissist scared away family or friends. And so you're isolated and you feel nobody cares about you anymore. And me just knowing that I can learn to care about myself again, and that there could very well be a higher power up there that cares about me as well, and that accepts me even though I'm broken, that speaks volumes as far as trying to make you feel just a little bit better. And at these early stages, it's all about just feeling a little bit better. I also pray every night. Now, some people may choose to meditate, and heck, I don't even know if I'm praying or meditating, but it seems to settle me down enough to go to sleep and to wake up to be productive. I also make sure that in the mornings, right when I wake up, I end up spending about 3 to 5 minutes meditating, just giving myself good self-affirmations that, you know what, Dominic, you're going to have an awesome day today. You are an awesome and caring person. There are people out there that love you. You love yourself. and you're going to have a great day. And I say things like that to myself every morning right when I wake up. Now, I don't say them in a mirror or anything like that, but some people choose to. I just kind of focus on trying to have my day start out in a very positive manner. So, goals. It's very important to have goals. Now, some people, and I did it too, my goals were I want to find out why she ended up leaving, what it was about myself that was bad or wrong to where I could end up getting her back. That's not a good goal. That's not a realistic goal. And as time progresses and you gain more objectivity through distancing yourself from the situation, you will find that the last thing that you want is to have that person back in your life. And we will talk more about that in other videos for sure. But I set small goals for myself, whether it was cleaning my house, waxing my floors, washing the car, finishing my back deck, or remodeling my kitchen. I tried to stay busy so that I was not consumed with thinking about the ordeal 24/7, because once again, that inner dialogue will just drive you crazy. Being able to heal from narcissistic abuse, it does take a lot of time and effort. I don't want to make this video too long, so stay tuned for other videos where I'll touch on the usual subjects that are in narcissistic YouTube videos, such as gaslighting, flying monkeys, cognitive dissonance, silent treatment, and no contact, among others, and show you how I have overcome or applied each. I will say one thing though, I'm going to talk really quick about no contact, and that is no contact should be used right now. If you are not using no contact right now, at the end of this video, use it. If you do not have children with your narcissist, and it's a family member or even an intimate partner, but you don't have children with them, block them on social media, block them on your telephone, block them from your email, block every way that they can possibly get a hold of you. And don't block it and then a week later unblock it. No, block it for good, because you're going to find out as time goes on and you start distancing yourself from the situation that any interaction that you have with that person is going to put you back to day one in your healing process. And you deserve better than that. I deserve better than that. So I made sure to block that person out of my life. Just block them. They don't care about you. They never did. They don't know how to. So block them so they cannot get back in and mess you up again. So that's what I wanted to say about no contact. But in other videos, we'll talk more about it and the whys and all of this. So I'm going to end up making some other videos. And along the way, I hope that all of you will see a change in me. And I'm trying to document this because I want this to be a lifelong change, because I'm struggling. One of my biggest fears is that she will come back in a year or a year and a half, and I will be duped back into it, and I will get myself into a whole world of hurt again. And I feel that there is so much greatness in me, and there is so much positive things that I want to do, that I cannot go backwards. I cannot allow myself, and because I'm very empathic, and I can really see people's feelings very well. I can read them, and I'm always wanting to help and fix and stuff like that. I do not need someone around me like the narcissist at all. So I'm wanting to document this so that I can help to maybe spark a change in you guys as well. You know, you guys can follow along in my journey, and if you feel that you don't have a support group, you might be alone, or you might have toxic people in your life, hey, there's always me. I'm here. I'm not doing anything. It's me and my 2 dogs. We can talk on the comments section. Depending how this video series goes, maybe I'll open up a forum, or maybe I will do something like that. But for right now, I am just planning on making these videos and talking to those who leave comments. So I feel that, maybe we can be one another's support group if you would like to be a support group. because you have no one else, or if you just have a little bit of information, or if you want to vent a little bit of your situation as well. So if you found this video helpful, please click subscribe so that I know that this is making a difference in people's lives. But if it's not, I'm still going to make them because I feel that it's going to make a difference in my life. You can also click on the little bell icon and that will notify you when I make another video. I'm going to try to be releasing videos every week for the next year. So it's going to be 52 episodes, I'm hoping, and hopefully there'll be a drastic change in me and there'll be a drastic change in you as well. So I do ask that if you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them in the comments below. But can you do me a favor and try to be respectful when commenting or replying? A lot of us that are suffering from narcissistic abuse, we are very sensitive. We're very thin-skinned now, and we're trying to get our boundaries and our walls back up. So if there are any comments that are not very conducive to healing, they will probably be deleted so that people do not have to read any of that as they try to continue on their journey of healing. So I would like to tell everybody, and sorry my dogs are barking in the background, I would like to tell everybody Happy New Year's. So Happy New Year's everybody. With the new year, make this new year be a new time in your life to put the past in the past and move forward. Move forward one day at a time, away from the narcissist, away from the bad thoughts that you weren't good enough, or they're so much happier with someone else, or you can't do anything right, because all of that is a lie. They are not happier with someone else. They're doing the exact same thing to that person that they did to you in the exact time frame. It is nothing but a cycle that they do. They are stuck in a cycle, and they will go and go and go until they burn out. And you and me, unlike them, we have a choice to be able to heal ourselves and break our cycle of feeling abused and feeling like a victim and get back to feeling somewhat normal. So let's take this opportunity, everybody, because it's New Year's, to make 2018 the year of change for us. And I'm here and I'll do it right with you, okay? So remember, all you can do is live one day at a time and live in a way that makes you feel good. That to where you, if you're the abuse survivor, that you have a conscience, more than likely. The narcissist does not have a conscience. So that means that they will not heal. You will heal. And so just take it one day at a time. And remember that it's your life to live. You might only go around this earth, one life, or if you believe in reincarnation, maybe more than one. But just know that it is your life to live. So live it for you and not for a narcissist, not for anyone else, okay? So have a great night, a great New Year's, a very safe one, because I'd rather talk to you than about you. And let's start talking in the comments below, and let's have a great year, everybody, okay?